So I was literally loading up as much as I could. I had filled 12 contracts and I had put out on Twitter what I was doing. So maybe in my history on Twitter, you could find that. Um, and someone's like, Chris, Fez has a dividend in the next couple of days. Like that's why it's priced that way. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. This is the How to Trade Stocks and Options podcast, brought to you by 10MinuteStockTrader.com, where we cover finance, stocks, options, entrepreneurship, education, and money. And here's your host, voted one of the top 100 people in finance, Christopher Uhl. Hey there, traders. Welcome back to today's How to Trade Stocks and Options podcast. Today, we have a special lesson for you. I'm putting it here on the podcast because I really believe that this is going to provide you massive, massive value. And that's what I'm trying to do here. And hey, listen, if this podcast was useful to you at all, I really highly suggest that you go check out the full trading course at AIStockTradingSystem.com. That's AIStockTradingSystem.com. Hey, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified every time we give you more tools, tips, and tricks to help you trade faster and trade smarter every single week. Hey there, traders. Welcome back to today's How to Trade Stocks and Options podcast. Today, we are working on options trading mistake number 7. Now, this is part of a series that we've been putting together, and we are following through the Ally Invest series that they put together on YouTube. And I'm giving you my take on it, my spin on it. I've been trading options for pretty much a decade now. And basically every options trading mistake there has been to make, I have made. So I can give you my personal experience as we go through this. But this is option trading mistake number 7, not factoring upcoming events. So let's jump into this episode here.
Lose the entire amount of their investment in a relatively short period of time.
Hello. Today we're going to talk about common option trading mistakes that beginning option traders make. Failing to factor in upcoming events into your option strategy is another common mistake that beginning option traders make.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So I don't know where he's going. I always watch these cold, but I can tell you there are a handful of things. First is earnings. Obviously, anytime you're trading around earnings, it can go either direction very quickly. And if you're not prepared for that, if you're not planning on that larger than average movement, it can certainly work against you right away. But if you are trading for the earnings event, then I think you're okay. Next, dividends. So if you've been following the podcast for a while, you've heard me talk about the time when I was assigned, I was assigned 200 short shares of XRT. Yeah. And because of that, my account had actually gone down to negative $6,000 something. And in the process, not only did I have a margin call, which just means you have to close the trade really, I had worked the wrong way on the trade, and I owed the dividend on those 200 shares to the person. Basically, it just comes out of your account automatically. You don't have to do anything, but you do owe the dividend if you get assigned the shares. And I was like, you've got to be kidding. All I had to do was put this trade on one day later, and that would not have been part of the issue I had to deal with. So earnings, dividends, and what else do I look for? That's pretty much the only things that I care about whenever I'm factoring in upcoming events. So let's see what they talk about here in the episode.
Oftentimes, if you're looking at options, I've seen a lot of people that will think, wow, look at all that option premium. Those options are really juiced. In this instance, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. There's probably a prevailing news event that is causing the premiums of the option contracts to be greater than normal. Or, in the instance, are they sometimes too low? Do you look at that option price and say, wow, that's a real cheap option contract? Well, maybe there's a merger or acquisition that could be happening and the stock price isn't going to move because it's already pegged at the price of the sellout. So how can we trade smarter? Well, it's
okay. So I have a great story for this, and he reminded me about that just a second ago. So years ago, there was an ETF called Fez, F-E-Z. And I was trading it, and I was just basically playing around with option strikes, selling this one, buying that one, and basically taking an iron condor and had made it into a box spread where essentially you're selling a short put spread and you're selling a short call spread, but they're the same strike. So if it's, let's call it 100, it'd be like the 100 and the 105s for both of those strikes. And in the process, I was like, holy cow, I'm taking in a decent amount of credit. This is cool. And then I was like, this is pure arbitrage, because no matter which way the trade goes, if I've taken enough credit and the trade just closes anywhere, then I get to keep all the credit. This is amazing. So I was literally loading up as much as I could. I had filled 12 contracts, and I had put out on Twitter what I was doing. So maybe in my history on Twitter, you could find that. And someone's like, Chris, Fez has a dividend in the next couple of days. Like, that's why it's priced that way. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. So I'm trying to unload all these as fast as I can. And I was taking just stupid losses after stupid loss. At the end of the day, I probably lost 20 to 50 cents on each contract. And, times 12 was $600 for nothing. Just such a stupid mistake. Like he's saying here, if it seems too good to be true, like is exactly what my head was, it probably is too good to be true. So yeah, if you ever get to a point where you're trying to put on box spreads, don't do it.
It's quite simple. Do some research. If you're trading an underlying stock, you need to know 3 specific things. You need to know, is there any earnings that are coming out? Are there any dividends that are going to be paid prior to the expiration of the option contract? And lastly, is there any known news event already? Is there a merger acquisition that is going on?
Yeah, there are some people who will trade a merger candidate or an acquisition candidate because I think, like, let's say the stock's trading at 60, they think maybe the acquisition will occur at 70 or 80, so they're trying to get in ahead of time. But that's honestly that's kind of like playing earnings. You don't really know if that's going to happen, and if it doesn't go through, that stock may plummet on you, and then you're totally left out. So yeah, it's certainly something to keep in mind.
Bottom line is, all of these really affect the price of an option contract, and not knowing them can sometimes lead you down the wrong path when trying to make a plan. Well, that's it for today.
So just to wrap this up, if you are trading options, take 5 seconds, go onto whatever platform you want to Google it on, and look up what's the dividend date, the ex-dividend date, that's the date that matters, and when are earnings. If either of those are happening in your time frame, you may not want to be in it. But for example, I just put on a trade today. Earnings are going to occur, today is a Friday. They're going to occur the following Tuesday. And I'm okay with that because I know, I'm holding the trade Friday and Monday. I'm going to get out Monday afternoon. And I've made a note to myself, no matter what, get out Monday afternoon. But if the stock runs up into earnings, like it looks like it might, then I'm going to take some profit off of it. And if it doesn't, it goes down, I'm going to get out. But either way, I'm not trading earnings. Same with dividends. If you see that the ex-dividend date is 3 weeks away, you normally trade in the 1 week, 2 week, up to 3 week time frame. Why not? Why not put it on? Just know ahead of time that you need to make evasive action if that dividend date is something that you don't want to deal with or trade around. So I hope you found that useful. I love going through these. We're nearly to the end of this, but I really like making these series. I think they're useful in several different ways. So thank you for tuning into today's How to Trade Stocks and Options podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, and enable notifications. That way you never miss any of the tools, tips, and tricks we upload every single week to help you trade faster and trade smarter. I'll see you on the next episode. Okay, so what'd you think? That was pretty incredible, right? Now, if you liked that, that's only a taste, only a sample of what you're going to find in the full AI stock trading system. And I really highly encourage you to go and check this out. Obviously, you are interested in learning on how to trade, and that's why you're listening to this podcast. Now, I'm going to take and download my entire trading system that I use day in and day out onto you. And the only way I'm going to be able to do that is over at the AIStockTradingSystem.com. You're going to get phase 1, 2, and 3, several bonuses, and on top of that, I'm going to walk you through over a dozen trades that I put on inside of my account, holding your hand and showing you exactly how I got in, how I got out, how I use the artificial intelligence data, and how this could work inside of your own trading portfolio on a daily basis. So make sure you head on over to AIStockTradingSystem.com. That's AIStockTradingSystem.com to learn more and to get started and to download my decade plus worth of trading experience into your hands so you can start using the AI Stock Trading System today, the 5-step system to take the guesswork out of trading. Hey, if you like this video, let me know by leaving me a like below, and then subscribe and share it with somebody you think could use it as well. Be sure to comment below with your biggest takeaway from this episode and any suggestions you have for future episodes. And finally, make sure you watch these other videos to help you trade faster and trade smarter, and I'll see you on the next episode.